Hi, welcome to Business Influencers. I'm your host, Chris Salem. Hope everyone is having a great week. You found us here at TALRadio, and welcome if you're just joining us for the first time. You could also find us on Apple and Spotify, and also our YouTube channel at TALRadio. TAL is short for Touch of Life Foundation, and we highly encourage you to listen to all of our past shows that we've had with many of our great guests sharing their words of wisdom and insights to help elevate your level of influence and take your business to the next level. Our show is being brought to you today by Alumni Direct. Alumni Direct is a new social media community platform dedicated to bringing alumni together from all different generational types and an opportunity to also meet new people for the first time. Now, this is a membership program, meaning that it takes all the noise out of social media, no more of those noisy notifications, and it allows you to come in on your time to generate genuine and authentic relationships, whether if you're rekindling old relationships from your past, from college, either through a fraternity, sorority, or just college in general, or meeting new people for the first time. As it is a membership program, it offers a wide array of different services not available to the general public in terms that can help elevate your career, your business to the next level. If you'd like to have more information about Alumni Direct, check them out at alumnidirect.com. That's alumnidirect.com. Well, we got a great show for you today. The cost of chaos. Yes, we live in a world where a lot of times people will say there is a lot of chaos around us. But again, it's in the eye of the beholder. And you're going to be hearing today from our subject matter expert, and his name is Ernesto Mandowsky. And Ernesto is going to be sharing a lot of great insights. He's the CEO of CPD Advisors, where he designs systems to improve revenue, referrals, and retention. Ernesto is extremely committed to his mission of democratizing education to business system tools to empower operators to elevate their organization. Outside of client work, Ernesto shares insights through the $1 Million Machine platform, a community workshops, and his new book, New B, and that's Newbee. And yes, you will find out more information about that book here later today on the show. And without further ado, we welcome Ernesto Mandowsky to the show. Ernesto, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, Chris. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, let's just kind of dive right into it. Let's talk about, the cost of chaos. I mean, again, a lot of information out there in terms of things that we can do to make improvements in our personal lives and in business, in terms of revenue, referrals, retention, you name it. But let's just kind of cut through it and talk a little about what is the chaos that you would like to share with us today that bogs down, everyday business owners and those trying to move forward.
Yeah, well, an example that impacts everyone, every client, every person, every friend that I work with. Look at your internet browser. How many tabs do you have open right now? Like, do you have 3 tabs? Are you focusing on 3 things at a time? Or do you have so many tabs open that you don't even know what the name of the tab is because it's just so many icons?
I got a guy where his computer crashed because of that.
Yeah, I mean, that single example is manifested in Slack channels, people you follow on Twitter, YouTube channels that you're subscribed to, just so much things that we're holding on to that creates a lot of quiet chaos in our lives.
Yeah, wow. It's so true. That's a primary, like I said, that was no joke. I had a guy, his computer crashed because he had, I don't know how, he must have had tab after tab after tab over not like a week. I'm talking months that he never shut off the computer, never shut down the tabs, and it was just chaos.
The chaos. Computer overloaded. Overloaded. It couldn't hold on to so much memory.
Oh my God. So let's just talk about, with the, this chaos, people are going to be all different types of people. You're going to have people who are organized, not organized, somewhere in between. But nonetheless, what can you share about some of the other things that could be be showing up as chaos when it comes to people in their business? And, what are some of the things that you suggest, Ernesto, they could start doing to kind of offset it or eliminate that chaos?
Yeah. Well, other ways chaos looks like, look at how many projects you're working on. Look at how many meetings you're a part of. Look at how many tasks you're working on at the same time. And these numbers, they get pretty meteoric, and the bosses want you to do more, and the organization wants more, and we need more productivity, and we need to implement this new thing. And it's a lot of more. But when you step back from all that chaos, a way to actually look for the signal is to prioritize what's important. And that's where I tell every client to start with, is setting your priorities. Like, what are the three, and no more, three priorities, three goals that you're trying to achieve, just three things. Because also people work on so many goals, but if you just limit it to three, you're creating a constraint that allows you to focus on what matters. And everything that is outside of those three areas kind of falls away. It's not really relevant to the purpose of the time.
Wow. And what do you think, like, what would be, I mean, I'm sure most people, if not all of them, maybe, like I said, I'm going to say everybody, but probably most people that are going to probably fall into one of those buckets. What would you suggest could be one thing to start people becoming, doesn't have to become ultra organized, but more organized so they can be more focused on the priorities that truly matter? That they're done with one thing, they can close it out and then move to the next task or whatever priority that could be.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think that, oh, I'm not organized, therefore I cannot X. Or when I get organized, I will be able to Y. And forget, it's not even about that. It's not even about being organized or not organized. It's like, hey, what are the three things? And if you just stay focused on those three, like only those three things, some people call it morning affirmations. Some people, it looks like meditation, where you're going back to a mantra or a word. Maybe it's a vision board, but the concept's the same. It's looking at three things, five things. That's it. And as you are focused on, checking off the box of those three things, you add, one comes off, another one comes on, you are moving the ball forward. Because I don't think an unorganized person is just going to become organized overnight or after months or after years. But if the ball is moving forward, if the purpose is being expressed in the world, then it doesn't matter if you're organized or not organized. It's about expressing the purpose and getting closer to that vision that you and every other organization is aspiring to creating.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, it's so true. And like you said, you're not, and sometimes it could be that, like you said, you may not become, ultra, organized. You might can get a little better, but maybe there are other people that can do certain things for you to offset that, so you can delegate.
100%.
And how many people get caught up in the things they can delegate that are really taking the time away from the must priorities that are going to help move their business to the next level?
Exactly. I like to say, how for you personally, I mean, how spiritual would you call yourself?
I would say that energetic. I mean, I'm not religious, but I am spiritual.
No,
so
no religion. There's this principle that I've been exploring, the masculine versus the feminine energy.
Yeah.
And when you look at the masculine energy in the world, it's kind of like the structure, it's the integrity, it's the enforcer, it's operations. It's the person who's creating the boundaries and the constructs such that energy can move in an intended direction. On the other end, there's the feminine, and the feminine is the creative, the nurturing force. It's the force with expansion. And so inside of your company, you have these two forces that are kind of a duality at play, where you would see the CEO that is more like the feminine, the expansion, the creative, the vision. And then you have the COO that's kind of the masculine, the integrity, the structure. You have to have a healthy balance between the two. Because if you have too much vision, then it gets too overwhelming. But if you have too much structure, there's nothing to organize if there are no clients. So it's about having that balance.
Yeah, so true. And like I said, it's progress. It's not like you're going to be like doing this overnight, but like, each step that you're doing it, you're getting better and better at it. And that's I know how what I did back in the day. If I tried to do it all at once, I would have been in trouble for sure.
Right. Totally.
What would be some things like you could talk about, like, this chaos can cost us a lot, like you said, a lot of time, a lot of money, because if we're really focused on things that are really not relevant or not moving us along, or things that could be easily delegated, what does that cost? What can that cost be on a day, like even a daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly? Again, I know it's going to be different for different businesses, but on average, like a percentage, what could that be that could be costing us in our businesses moving forward to that next level?
Yeah. So if you think about the amount of times per day someone asks you a question, like, hey, Chris, what's the update on this project? Or, hey, Chris, where's that file? Or, hey, Chris, can you send me the link of the meeting, the recording? Let's say you get asked a question 15 times per day. That's conservative. Let's say 30 times per day. And your team is 10, there's 10 people on that team. So 10 people, 30 times per day. It takes you about 2 minutes to find that information. You're spending 1.5 hours per day just in asking questions and getting information. That can come out to an individual cost of $3,500 per week individually. When you multiply that over all of your team members and how much time everyone's spending searching for information, that's easily over $200,000 per year on a team of 10, average salary of $100K per person. Like, you're literally you're almost two people's worth of a cost because of the questions and asking and searching and misplacement of information. It's a very significant cost.
Yeah, wow, it is true. And I know me personally, when I was able to get more organized personally and in my business, utilizing systems and processes, perhaps even, certain people, like it could be a virtual assistant, that type of thing. Even if you're a small, either a solopreneur or just have a very small business with a few people, these are the things that can make a huge difference in allowing you to work on your business and not in it. Can you talk a little bit about more on that, working on your business and instead of working in it? There's a big difference, and it's usually that difference of, well, not everybody that just, if they're not watching the YouTube, they can hear me, but you're either going to be staying the same or you're going to be going up if you're working on it. If you
Yeah.
could talk about that concept.
Yeah. So when you are working in your business, you are literally the person that is doing the customer delivery, the fulfillment. You're delivering the pizza to the guest. When you're working on your business, you are finding 50 more guests to buy pizzas from. So the question is, do you want to spend your time delivering pizza, or do you want to spend time multiplying the number of guests by 50 or 100? And that's a question that looks different across every business, but boils down to the same thing. Do you want to just do the thing, or do you want to think through how you can 5x the business?
That's so true. And just getting back to what you said, if we allow it, life and business will always interfere, right? And a lot of times it may not be things that are always relevant, but if we're getting caught up in that chaos every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year, and then you say, okay, this is the year that I'm going to do it differently. I'm going to work, and then you continue. If we're not able to, like, find, tools and resources and other people, in this case, to your excellent example with pizza, if we can't find drivers that are going to deliver the pizza, and now we're doing it, now we don't have the time to go out and find other people that want to buy our pizza, and so on.
To put it really bluntly, and I come from a hospitality background, and I bake bread. I bake the best bread in the world. It's really good challah. If I really want to share this magic with the world, and I want everyone to try my challah, if I am the person delivering the challah to everyone, then I can't actually share the challah with 100 people because I'm busy delivering the challah. So if you're really lit up by this mission or this vision that you're aspiring to create in the world, you can think of it like you are robbing everyone in your target addressable market of that vision because you're so focused on the minutiae of the day instead of figuring out how to actually serve that total addressable market.
Yeah. So true. What would you say, like I said, in the case of, when let's say people are getting, are starting to understand this now and work on it, the hardest part is letting go of that control that you've controlled. Talk about, because that's always the hardest part, especially for a perfectionist. And me, I was a recovering perfectionist back in the day, a long time ago. So I learned the hard way, but nonetheless, I am thankful for everything that you're sharing, because how I made that transition many years ago. Talk about it, because I know there's other people like that. If not, so there are many of them out there.
The only way you're going to learn how to ride a bike is by doing it. And the only way you're going to learn to ride without training wheels is to take them off and let them go. And maybe you're going to fall a couple times, but you're going to see that you won't die and that it's not going to be the end of the world. I think letting go is a continuous process, that it doesn't have to be, hey, VA, here's the bank account information. Like, you don't have to go from 0 to 1,000 overnight, but it is just like a continual process of relinquishing, one responsibility per week, and then 2 responsibilities per week, and then 3 responsibilities per week. So it's a gradual process. It doesn't have to happen right away.
Yeah. Like you said, would it be safe to say that if you're obviously it's not a pattern for you, it's not something that's deeply ingrained in your, in your DNA at this point. But if we use discipline, meaning that, we're doing these things knowing that it's going to be good for us in our business, may not feel right. It might feel uncomfortable. It might make me angry that I have to do, but knowing it's going to serve me. But by using that discipline and being consistent every day, that will help to, over time, embed it more on a subconscious level, where it becomes now a good habit that will serve you.
Yeah, I love the concept of discipline. Depending on, my wife's a therapist, and so we talk about feelings a lot in the home.
Yeah.
Discipline may trigger memories of like dictatorship or
that true. Yeah. And I don't mean that. I don't mean it like that.
I know you don't. No, I know you don't. I'm just mentioning this because the people who are listening may have some sort of a memory. But if you reframe it back to, or you can reframe it back to this love for the customer and love for sharing this magic with the world, when you love all the people you're trying to serve, it also, like, discipline is inside of that love, because you will want to let go. You will want to figure out how to 10x the business because you love your customer and you want them to experience that magic. So it's a little discipline, it's a little love. It's definitely a lot of psychological reframing.
Yeah, that's true. Because like you said, somebody could take the discipline in a way that's a trigger from something in their past that could be a negative thing. So yeah, you have to reframe it based upon who you're talking to and so forth. So and finding. So what would be some other suggestions that you could share that could help us now to be more laser focused on the priorities that matter, the things that are going to move the needle, and so on, that you haven't shared yet?
So when I work with clients, I teach them what's called the 6-pillar system. And so I already shared with you the first pillar, which was priorities.
Yep.
Which was setting what's most important, 3 goals, or 3 priorities, or 3 key results, or objectives. I mean, there's many names of the same idea. The second pillar is around people. And so once you get clear on what those 3 priorities are, recognize that you are surrounded by an entire ecosystem of people that want you to succeed. And you don't have to do everything. You can rely on these people. These people are your clients, they are your vendors, they are your team members, they are contractors, they are advisors, they are mentors. There are people in your community that aren't even clients, but you just know them, they're friends. Like, look into your people and who can help you succeed, because they're going to actually, they have the wormhole that you're going to like jump through and have your goal overnight. They have that opportunity. We don't think of it like that because we have this I need to do it, needs to be me kind of mentality. So that would be the next thing I would recommend for people. Like really look through who's in your network, who can help me accelerate my progress on this goal.
So true. Yeah, there's gold in your network, no doubt about it. And also finding people that can help leverage your I guess your weaknesses, or offset your weaknesses, excuse me, offset your weaknesses and then leverage your strength, so you have more time now to spend on working on your business, not in it, like you talked about earlier. Wow.
Exactly.
Awesome things you share. Any like examples that you could share? Not, no specific names or anything like that, but anything that you could share, like an example of this transition and what you've seen, how that reduction in chaos really elevated, either an individual or a business to that next level.
Yeah. So I have a client of mine. He is a coach and he was so in the world of delivering pizzas. When he would enroll his clients, was like, okay, we're going to have 15 coaching sessions in person. And it was this process and it's $10,000. And when we were talking and I was listening to his goals, like, oh, I want to increase my revenue. And I said, okay, well, how can we decrease the time you're spending on delivering pizzas? So what we did for him is we basically took his 30 best lessons, best nuggets of wisdom. We packed it into a course. We reframed his model where instead of 10 hours, it was 4 hours. And instead of 10,000, it was 3,000. Because he was spending less time delivering pizzas, he could now work with 10 customers at the same time and make more money off of that. So when you're able to kind of productize your service, revisit how you're delivering the pizza, you can make more money and you can impact more people. And that just requires a shift out of the Google Docs, out of the calls with the clients every single day, out of being addicted to being there with people. Just requires a bit of a new way of delivering the same pizza to people. I'm saying
Yeah.
pizza a lot. I'm a foodie, clearly.
No, that's fine. I could totally relate to that. I mean, pizza is usually a favorite food of most, if not all, people. At least the ones I know. If my wife were listening to the show, she'd tell you that because she loves pizza. Matter of fact, she had it last night, by the way. Coincidence there, right? But with that
Soul
said,
food.
I think this is great information that you're sharing, and and getting back to the consistency again, that it's so important. It's not that you're gonna be great at it overnight. Maybe it might not even be great at it in a week or even a month, but just knowing that if you're putting in the effort and getting better each day, that's going to help you, to really start seeing, a difference. Like it compounds over time as you make those advancements in those small jumps that become bigger jumps down the road.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's not about the 400% overnight increases or quadrupling client counts in a month. Like it's not about that. It's about just 1% changes that you could make on a day-to-day basis. Because after a year of that, you really see the results.
Yeah, so true. I always say that I call it the process, right?
The
Process
process.
doesn't always go, smooth as you like. It goes up and down, but nonetheless, that if you're doing the things that are going to be better each and every day, allowing you to be more productive, efficient, and of course, in this case, profitable, it's moving you forward. So,
Exactly.
you just got to take day by day. I love it. As we
Exactly.
get near the end of the show, is there anything else that you'd like to leave with the listeners before I want to let the listeners know how they can get into contact with you? But any final comments that you would like to make that will create impact to really solidify what you discussed here on the cost of chaos?
No, I really want to invite people to reconnect with their mission, with their vision, with what it is they want to express with the world. Because when they focus on that vision, on that purpose that they're aspiring to embody, all the noise falls away. Like we all want to build $10 million companies so that we can blank. That blank is probably the feeling that I want everyone to reconnect to on a daily basis. Because when you're in that feeling, when you're operating at that energetic frequency, the organization, the goal, like all that stuff either falls away, and the stuff that's necessary is like bright and evident in front of you. So
Yeah.
reconnect to that vision and do the work.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, this is great information. Thank you so much for sharing here with us today. We are so thankful here from the Touch of Life Foundation, taking time out of your day to be with us here today. How can the listeners get a hold of you? Anything that you would also like to provide them as well?
Yeah. So if you enjoyed today's conversation and you are looking to get involved, I invite you to check out freesystemscall.com. Usually these are dressed up as sales calls, but I truly want to connect with my audience, understand where they're at, and then offer them some resources to have them continue going. If a partnership makes sense, it makes sense, but I just want to help people stay in action towards that ultimate vision that they're aspiring to. So again, check out freesystemscall.com, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Awesome. Well, thank you again, Ernesto, for being here. We greatly appreciate you and all you do. Again, we highly encourage everyone listening and those that are going to be listening later. We hope you share this show. Again, there's a lot of golden nuggets that Ernesto shared. Please get in contact with him at the information that we'll also provide in the show notes and what he gave you here. Also, you can connect to him on social media as well. And we highly encourage you to do that here today. Well, we want to thank you, listeners, each and every week joining us here at Business Influencers. Again, the show is dedicated to you to help raise your level of influence and your business to the next level. We'd like to thank our sponsor, as usual, Alumni Direct, and all that you do. Again, make sure to check out Alumni Direct at alumnidirect.com. Till then, everybody, have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you next week. Take care.